Hey guys, what's up? Coach Magnum here, and welcome to day 2 of the free weight loss guide. Now today we're talking about creating calorie deficits and building a strong metabolism. In healthy individuals, there's pretty much only one factor that determines whether you gain or lose weight, and that is if you are in a calorie surplus or a calorie deficit. I don't care what diet or exercise programs have failed you or what you've told yourself about your genetics or your big bone structure. If you are gaining weight, it is because you're in a calorie surplus. And if you're not losing weight, it's because you haven't properly achieved a calorie deficit. Now, I think most people understand that to a degree, but it's not as cut and dry because the catch is making that calorie deficit in a healthy and sustainable way. Now, notice I didn't say cutting calories, I said create a calorie deficit. Now, most people think you should just cut your calories low, but that's not always the answer because that's not always healthy or sustainable. You see, it's not just the amount of calories you eat that determines whether or not you're in a surplus or a deficit. It's the amount of calories you eat compared to the amount of calories your metabolism burns on a daily basis. And that's the key, is creating a healthy, sustainable ratio between the amount of calories you eat and the amount of calories you burn, so that you can ensure healthy, sustainable weight loss over a long period of time. Now, the best way to view your body's metabolism is to think of it like a thermostat that's attached to a furnace. If you want to burn fat, then you need to turn that thermostat up so you can maximize the amount of calories that furnace burns on a daily basis. But the thing is, your body's metabolism isn't wired to look good shirtless on the beach. It's wired to survive a winter or hard famine. So if you don't provide favorable circumstances for your body's metabolism to thrive and flourish, then your body's going to turn that thermostat way down and burn as few calories as possible. And that's when people who only cut calories run into a ton of problems. So how do we build our body's metabolism? 3 key points. First, we're talking about calories. You need a well-fed engine. Notice I said well-fed, not overfed. Fed as much as possible. Well-fed. I already said most people like to just cut calories. Think about that like a car that needs gas. You have to have gas to go somewhere. So you can't just try to lose weight by dumping all the gas out of your tank. You won't be able to get anywhere. But that doesn't mean you pull into the gas station and hold the trigger down on the handle until gas is spilling all over the floor either. So we're going to talk specifically about nutrition tomorrow, but as far as calories go, keep your individual gas tank topped off at about 3/4 of a tank, and that will give you plenty of calories for energy for your daily activity and exercises, but still leaving you plenty of room to exercise your way into a calorie deficit. Point 2, adding lean mass. I know the word mass just scared like half the ladies out there, but the truth is that everybody needs muscle. Muscle looks good in a bikini. Muscle looks good in a dress. Muscle looks good without your shirt on at the beach. Muscle looks good in a tuxedo. Muscle helps you show off for your friends when you want to show them that you can move the couch or do the push-ups or do the pull-up. And muscle is what keeps you functioning optimally and continuing to live independently doing your daily activities for as long as possible. If you have trouble sitting, standing, getting up off the floor, and reaching overhead to put your groceries away, getting stronger makes all of that easier. Now, there's lots of ways to get stronger. You don't have to lift super heavy weights and become some crazy power lifter to get stronger. But you do have to engage in some form of resistance training. It doesn't have to be powerlifting, but it does have to be resistance. You can start with very basic body weight exercises. As you get stronger, start moving into the basic proven weight training exercises. And then as your skills improve, you can take that into whatever direction you want to, whether it's advanced gymnastics, explosive weightlifting, sports-specific training, or just some curls to look good. Once you build the foundation, then you can choose what you want to do with it. And muscle burns calories 24/7. The best thing about muscle is it improves your body's base metabolic rate, the amount of calories your body burns at rest. Owning muscle is not free. Your body has to burn calories simply to keep that muscle on your body. So the easiest way to sustainably burn a large amount of calories over time is by adding lean muscle mass. So you could get bogged down for hours trying to decide what exercises to engage in to build muscle in a strength training program. I'm going to tell you, don't get caught up on the exercises, focus on the movement pattern. I have an entire blog article about this that either is out or will be out soon on my blog. Check that out for more information. The 6 movement patterns are the squat pattern, the hip hinge pattern, and pressing and pulling in the vertical and horizontal plane. If you focus on those 6 movement patterns, you can interchange whatever exercises are most convenient for you, most available for you, whatever equipment that you personally have, whatever level of fitness you're at. In general, you want to pick 4 to 6 exercises a session. 3 or 4 of them will be from the 6 movement patterns I just described. 2 or 3 of them will be bodybuilding or accessory exercises, targeting weak points or muscular imbalances. 3 to 4 sets. Rep ranges can vary. Reps less than 5 tend to build more strength. Reps in the 8 to 12 rep range tend to build more size. Reps in the 6 to 8 rep range are a nice blend of both. Mix and match as appropriate. So adding lean mass is the best way to improve your body's resting metabolic rate. But it also improves the calories you burn during activity, because now you can do that activity that much harder and more intensely. So that's the third key, is your cardio exercise. That is your strength training exercise to build muscle. Now we're doing our cardio exercise specifically to just burn those extra calories. And while this is what most people think of when it comes to burning fat, over the long run it's much more important to add that muscle. So keep that in mind. Now the second mistake they make when it comes to the cardio is thinking that hamster wheel cardio, just 40 minutes chugging along on the elliptical or the treadmill or the exercise bike, is the best way to go. Ever since the jogging craze of the 70s, that's what everybody's thought. And while we will certainly do some steady state cardio, we want to focus more on conditioning through circuits and intervals. So those are the 3 pieces of your cardio training there. True steady state cardio, and then conditioning through circuits and intervals. Not a whole lot that you really have to do here other than just make sure you're getting your heart rate up, make sure you're getting a good sweat, make sure you're choosing things that work your whole body. You should be pushing yourself hard, but not pushing yourself to the point where you have to stop. Make it last about 10 or 20 minutes after the strength training and call it a day. So for your circuit training, you're going to pick lighter weight and less complex exercises, and you can essentially mix and match as much as your imagination will let you do. Whether you're going back and forth just between 2 different exercises, or whether you make a giant circuit of 7 or 8 things, the most important thing is light and fast and continuous motion. Now for intervals, you're going to pick a traditional cardio machine like a rower or a bike or even a treadmill or elliptical, but instead of one steady pace, you're going to warm up, you're going to give me a short sprint, and then you're going to recover, and then right back in and repeat. I really like the rower and the assault bike for this. The elliptical can work well. I would be careful about sprinting unless you know you're really conditioned for it. On the bike, 10 seconds hard, 20 seconds to recover is great. On the rower, 15 seconds hard, 15 to 30 seconds to recover is awesome. On the rower, if you could build up to 30-30, that's great. Warm up for a minute or 2, repeat the intervals for as long as you can. If you need to just recover for a minute or 2 and then do a few more, fine, make it last 10 or 15 minutes. At the end of the strength training, call it a day. And finally, steady state cardio, pretty straightforward. Just pick a machine and just cruise 15-20 minutes. So you're going to mix and match those cardio pieces after your strength training. And there it is, guys. Creating a calorie deficit by building a healthy relationship between the calories you're consuming and the calories you're burning by building your body's metabolism. Build the metabolism, fuel the machine, you're going to like the way you look. Alright, tomorrow we're specifically going to talk about good nutrition and eating habits. Thanks for watching. Later.